beneath the skin. The creature had to stoop to enter the tap room, and when it stood to its full height, its head brushed the rafters. A hulking figure, the orc's skin was a mottled gray-green color, and it was dressed in overlapping leathers and fur pelts. Its clothing did nothing to hide the scars that ran up its arms, nor the corded muscle that flexed with every movement. Its red eyes fixed themselves on the wide table along one side of the room, and the people seated on the other side of it. The creature approached, covering the space in 3 strides, and looking down at the smaller figures.
"Are you the Golden Band?"
the orc asked. "What's left of it?" a man in a gleaming breastplate with a tired expression on his face said. He gestured with one hand toward a chair and offered the ghost of a smile. "Please, have a seat." The orc looked at the chair, then pushed it aside, and sat down on the floorboards. Even seated like this, the creature was nearly at eye level with the remaining members of the adventuring party, calling itself the Golden Band. "Unorthodox and sassy," a long-limbed figure with his feet up on the table said, a note of laughter in his voice. 2 points from me." "So noted, Galfor," the armored man said without turning his head. "Please, tell us about yourself."
"My name is Argrim Axebane,"
the orc said, resting their hands on their knees.
"Child of the White Hand clan, war-kin to the mountain hold of Sturgard. When I heard the call, I came to see whether your reputation was true."
"Sturgard is not historically friendly to orcs," said a squat figure on the other end of the table. He stroked his bushy beard, looking over Argrim with a thoughtful eye. "I'm no kin to them myself, but even among the mountain clans, they hold grudges like no other."
"Grudges are washed out in blood,"
Argrim said, offering a toothy smile.
"When the hold was besieged by trolls, I came with the blade breakers and cut a gap in the flank. We lost our share of fighters, and it almost sparked off a whole new war. But Sturgard had a few cool heads, and when the day was done, me and mine were recognized by the hold and given a mark."
Argrim pulled back the fur flap covering their right shoulder, revealing the intricate mountain hold glyph tattooed there. The dwarf sitting behind the table nodded, almost imperceptibly to his companions, verifying that the mark was legitimate. Argrim lowered the fur once more, concealing the tattoo before settling their hands back on their knees. "Very impressive," the armored man said. "That is your trade, then? You were a soldier?"
"I am a warrior,"
Argrim corrected.
"Soldiers man battlements and stand guard when there is no fighting to be done. When there is no need to fight, I concern myself with other things. I hunt wild game, I butcher and smoke meat, and when there is need, I help deliver the young into the world, and lay the old in the ground so they may move on to the next."
"I wouldn't have pegged you for the holy type," Galfor said, recrossing his legs at the ankle.
"I'm not,"
Argrim said with a shrug of one huge shoulder.
"When the job needs doing, I do it. People got to be born, people got to eat, and people got to die. Nobody should have to do any of those things alone."
"A touching sentiment," the man in the breastplate said. He sounded like he meant it. "I cannot ask you to throw your lot in with us blindly, though. You must know what it is you're agreeing to be part of."
"I've heard tales of the Golden Band,"
Argrim said.
"No matter the threat, and no matter the odds, you stand victorious at the end. It may only be a single one of you, but you stand all the same, and your banner has never known defeat."
"A pretty legend, isn't it?" the dwarf said, taking a drink from his mug.
"Legends usually are,"
Argrim replied.
Still, your deeds speak for themselves. Our grove deep and the refugees you protected there. The peace accord you brokered with one-eyed ember on Firetop, ending the war of 3 princes and turning the border forts into places of safety for those in need. Those aren't legends.
No, they aren't, the armored man said. Though they sometimes feel like dreams, and bad ones at that. A look passed between the companions at that statement. Argrim nodded, but said nothing. The armored man looked first to the elf on one side, then to the dwarf on the other. Each of them nodded. Finally, all 3 of them turned to face Argrim once again. A final question, then, the man said, lacing his hands together before resting them on the table before him. If you'll allow us.
Ask,
Argrim said. What's your drink of choice? Galfer asked.
Dark and bitter after a long day,
Argrim said. A smile tugged up one corner of the orc's mouth as they spoke, though.
If there's a celebration, something stronger. Dragon whiskey is something I've grown a taste for.
Galfer's lips turned down in a look of disgust, but his dwarven companion laughed heartily and banged his fist on the table. The man who sat between them shook his head slowly, amusement on his lips. I call the vote, the man said. I, Gaedric Hardwin, bearer of the Golden Standard, anointed by the Council of the Dragonblood, vote yea. I, Sedwin Hardhelm of Castern Deep, son of the stones and chosen of the forge, vote yea, the dwarf said. The elf sighed. I, Galfer Longwind, despite this applicant's revolting choice of beverage, vote yea. Then we're in agreement, Gaedric said, nodding. Argrim Axbane, if you wish it, we would be honored to have you as a member of the band. Thank you for listening, and for staying until the end of this story. Beneath the Skin is the introductory story to the supplement 100 Questions to Ask About Your Characters, and it is full of all sorts of things to help you flesh out your next character. If you like the story and you want to help support the channel, then please like, share, and subscribe. Additionally, consider buying your own copy of the supplement at the link in the video description below.